Right. Time to start dealing with the only town I can think of in any game in the series that has two gyms. Granted, one of the two isn't actually a gym that gives out badges, something else rather unique, but Wish I could tell you it felt amazing to do, but it really didn't. That doesn't necessarily mean she's self-centered. I've known a lot of people who were actually rather selfless who wound up with few, if any, friends just due to luck. Though if being a copycat is her main gimmick, I can assume she's kind of obnoxious. And great. Now I remember one of the older Pokemon episodes where Ash ran into a girl who tried so hard to make Ditto seem awesome in the games before breeding became a thing. Was kind of hoping she'd give us something, but apparently I misremembered. I would think with the sheer amount of Pokemon our hero has seen over the course of the game that he'd be able to tell the difference between a doll and the real thing. Especially since a lot of the more esoteric Pokemon haven't existed yet. Wait, did that Doduo actually talk to us, or is the copycat girl just messing with us? And why do I get the feeling that during the planning stages this building had something more for us? I don't suppose you could tell us what general direction he ran off to, can you? Not that we'll really have a reason to chase after the guy. Hell, we'll run into him again just going through the bloody gym challenge. Well, I didn't see any media trying to catch what was going on, so you didn't miss anything that way as far as I know. And as the person who soloed the entire rocket force in the city, it wasn't anything especially interesting to watch, just a mostly one-sided affair. But again, maybe I just didn't have the right perspective on it and it might have been awesome for the people in the city to actually see us kicking that much ass. At the very least, we've got plenty of evidence that we're more skilled than the average trainers in this region this far into the game. We're going for the smaller fighting gym first. Shite, apparently nobody around to give advice here since it's an unofficial gym. Just a place with the word gym on the front next to the official gym. If you don't want people trespassing, then may I suggest getting a lock for your door? Definitely an improvement over the rocket grunts, but not much of a challenge compared to Gary or Giovanni. So perhaps the master of this dojo will feel more like a worthy opponent than his four underlings. Not going to have too much variety in here, but then we've probably gotten used to a lack of variety from people who have a set gimmick. And we're probably going to end up highlighting just how few psychic types there are in the game when we get to Sabrina's gym just next door. Anyway, Garm's got 72 wins at this point. As much as I'd like to keep his head of steam going, it's time to tag someone else in for the sake of experience points. Right! Definitely nice to see Kohaku proving he's a badass in his own right by shrugging off a critical hit. Literally just 5 trainers in this gym, so this definitely won't take long unless we have to rush to the Pokemon Center multiple times through here. I somehow doubt that, unless Bruno occasionally shows up in here. As much as I appreciate that we're more consistently fighting against people in the level 30s now, it doesn't change the fact that we're at the point when we can be expected to take on some level 40s in the game. Technically, I know why this was done this way, but as much as it makes Giovanni and Gary feel above and beyond most other people we come across, it's still awkward to go from facing someone of that caliber to dropping to something about 8 levels lower than what they were just casually throwing around. Well, at least after 2 trainers, Kohaku's looking a little worn down. I suppose that's something to give this gym some credit. This isn't the kind of contest where you score points, buddy. You have 2 unconscious Pokemon and we have 6 still ready to go here. Though, just to be on the safe side, let's pull back for some healing before taking on some of the other guys. Apparently felt the need to get rid of the keycard we no longer need while we're here. Probably should have done that back in the chairman's office, really. Not the biggest issue, but still something that's making me kind of smack myself awake here. Is it just role players in general, or something specific to this game that makes me get so complacent I forget to do some basic stuff because we won't be punished for it in any way? Oh, that's nice, but what can your Pokemon do against our Pokemon? Well, that ape is certainly a solid leveled one. Still going to be a 2-hit win, but at least I appreciate we're dealing with stronger Pokemon as we get closer to the leader of this unofficial gym. Or it would have been if I stuck with Horn Attack. Again, it's not like we're being punished much for my odd choice in attack there, so... Great job there, Kohaku. You have 102 wins. Then it's quite a shame that you're right next door to a psychic gym, isn't it? Not that we've been letting Neo smack your fighting types around. Still. I'm sorry, but I don't think any of the Pokemon games have had enough detail to let people take their shoes off when indoors. Not even the most recent games as of when this clip was compiled. And I somehow doubt that Pokemon Legends Arceus will have anything like that either. Why would he think a Mankey at the same level as the first one would have any more of a chance? But then I don't think any trainer in any of the games is ever allowed to surrender before their team is completely exhausted. If you're gonna give up, it's better to do so before your entire team has been wiped. Doing so afterwards, while polite, doesn't change the fact that you got your ass kicked and have absolutely nothing left in the proverbial tank. But again, This world is rather peaceful, so there's not really much reason not to put your all into a competitive fight like this. It's not like there's a chance you might need some members of your team to fight against an invading army or something. Oh, wait, that's right. I would have appreciated if there was at least some talk about some of the other trainers trying and failing to kick Team Rocket out instead of the player character dealing with absolutely everything, while everyone else at best moaned about the rockets in the city. Both were just one level under us, and it's kind of sad to say they aren't managing to do any damage to us at all. Poor bastard didn't even manage to do a single bit of damage to us. Not a single HP of damage from a Hitmonchan or Lee. Seriously, just one level under us, and they couldn't do anything. That just... I'm sorry. It just seems stupid as hell. That sort of dojo crashing thing kind of meant nothing to a young kid who knew nothing about Japan, like when I first played this game decades ago. Especially since there's no dojos in any other Pokemon game as far as I know. Anyway, doesn't matter with Lee or Chan, both are ending up in the box because, again, by this point in the game, I've already gotten pretty comfortable with everyone on the team, and it's not like either of these two really gives you anything you don't already have on the team or chose not to have. Yeah, pretty sure I misspelled that. I'd actually prefer a situation where there are enemies all around us. It might actually give us some more tension around here. And his offer for us to stay and train with him is pretty useless when there's literally nothing else we can do here after beating the 5 of them. Well then, it's a good thing we don't have any fighting types on this team, though I'm surprised you didn't mention the poison type also has quite a bit of trouble against psychics, especially since poison is a lot more common than fighting type last time I checked. Interesting choice for a first Pokemon out. And again, kinda makes me think I should have had an electric type on Red Team. Still, we can beat a Slowpoke in a straight-up slugging match. Again, not exactly a fan of these guys throwing the exact same Pokemon at us multiple times against the same trainer, especially when one Slowpoke at level 33 isn't going to be in any way different from another Slowpoke at level 33. Same moveset, same stats, just at best a different likelihood for what moves he's going to use against us in that particular try. That sort of thing isn't really an issue early on in the game, but over 20 hours in, I can't help feeling we need some meatier challenges to go with our very solid team, now that we have plenty of options available to us. I'm pretty sure that Phyllis can outrun a Slowbro. Yeah. When a part poison type can just one-hit kill a psychic in the psychic gym, it's again hard not to feel like you're maybe a bit over-leveled for what you're gonna face. I was actually hoping the guy would survive that shot and try to make us pay with a return psychic attack. Guess we'll have to wait until we get to Sabrina herself before we get really tested in here. Kinda wish either the anime or the games went into more detail about the whole 2 gyms in 1 city thing, but the anime never acknowledged that was even a thing as far as I remember. And of course, the games only mention they exist instead of actually going into detail how Sabrina managed to make this place while there was another official gym, and how she managed to become the new official gym leader of a city that's supposed to be rather big. Not that the games can really make each town and city feel large enough to even feel like a real-life village. Anyway, seems we've got some ghost types mixed in with the psychics around here. Part of me wants to say that's because the game developers felt this was a good point to start giving gyms more than 1 type for the player to deal with, so it's a little more difficult to reach the gym leader. The other thinks it's just that the game designers felt that throwing in mediums into this gym would make sense, since a lot of portrayals of mediums are that they're psychic in some way or another. Considering ghost types don't actually manage to be a counter to psychics like they were originally intended to, it's kind of funny that ghosts are one of the types represented in the psychic gym. Also kind of funny that the anime made Sabrina downright terrifying, but had her beaten because of a prankster ghost that happened to follow along with Ash instead of anything Ash actually did in the battle. Anyway, that first ghost certainly did a number on Takanabori here. Yikes. The big guy deserves a bit of a quick stop at the Pokemon Center once this battle's done. Honestly, wasn't expecting Kawaku to be able to score any wins while inside this gym. Considering the 2 ghosts we've seen so far don't have legs, how the hell does Earthquake hurt them? I know it doesn't really matter all that much. Just something I should chalk up under game mechanics and all that, but it's gonna be bothering me for most of the day. Right. Hope everyone enjoyed this clip. Next time I hope to be able to beat this gym. At the very least, we're getting close to another session of Red vs. Blue in the stadium. Definitely looking forward to that.